G'day and kia ora. I'm Mark Capel, known as the Haunted Man. Well, welcome to everybody around the world there on YouTube. Anyone new that's just checking me out. Yes, this is a bit of a kamikaze podcast. I've been a bit sick, so I haven't really been able to put in the effort that I really want to, and I'm extremely busy, so it's very hard for me to get the stuff that I want to get out, and when I get these chances, I take them when I can. The Polynesian Maori people are no strangers to the Bigfoot phenomenon. In New Zealand, there are many names. My quest for answers was initially sparked by an encounter by Skinwalker Ranch in northeastern Utah in 2013, where I went to try and capture UFOs on film. Then again, strangeness occurred when I returned to New Zealand in 2015, along with some strange anomalous messages that I received via a radio-shielded spirit box. Some might say there are no modern encounters of New Zealand's or a terrorized Bigfoot. As I conducted my research, I discovered there were at least dozens into hundreds of sightings. Most would never talk openly about what they saw. I was referred to Clint Wilmington, an avid hunter and a fisherman and a farmer who had his share of sightings over the decades in northern New Zealand. Up there in northern New Zealand, I'd been contacted by others who had their own sightings. Some were hunters, very experienced hunters. There was even a man from the Department of Conservation. I had even been contacted by troubled skeptics who climbed Mount Moihau in the 70s, thinking that they knew everything that there was to know, that science knew everything that was to know. They were very troubled, and they had trouble dealing with what they saw. So the picture that you saw at the beginning, if you saw at the beginning of the video, is Clint Wilmington. I interviewed him late last year up northern. He lives not too far from the Waipua Forest. That's in northern New Zealand. I believe it's a giant native forest. There have been multiple sightings of Bigfoot around this forest and up in this area. So I'm going to sometime, hopefully next week, I will upload my interview with him. And he gave me quite a good long interview. I was originally going to put him into my documentary. However, he did not assign a talent release, and he wouldn't sign one. He just basically said, "Well, put it up and see if he agrees to what goes up." So I'm putting up as best as I can, unedited. And I'm grateful. I was referred to Clint by a lady by the name of Kim Sinclair, who runs a YouTube channel. And that's, let's see if we can find it for you here. This other channel deals with other sightings, cryptid sightings in New Zealand. And I'm just seeing if I can pull it up here. Cryptid, C-I-N-Z or Z. Her name's Kim Sinclair, and I'm just trying to pull up the document where what I'm going to do is I will. Here we go. Sin's Cryptids in New Zealand. That is the name of the YouTube channel. So if you want to check it out, please go check it out. I will actually post a link to. She did do an audio. Well, she did an interview with Clint and posted it up. However, it's just an audio interview. It's not, you don't hear his voice, but it just gives us his account, so you can hear that there. Now, when I talked to Clint last year, he told me that some of the locals were familiar with the Bigfoots up there. They had closed community messages or meetings about them, what was going on. Clint had told me that he saw one that was 13 foot high, one that had been taking fish out of his nets. He he told me a variety of things that happened, some things that I can kind of identify with on my end, what I've experienced out there. So welcome out there, everybody. I'm just going to jump back in here. Hi, welcome. Yes, I know this is a bit of a shocker, isn't it? I'll just get a moment where look, I'm just going to go and do this. Yes. Had numerous encounters out there. I was actually quite kind of surprised at white perforos, and I understand a lot of it's closed off because of the so-called Kari dieback disease, which affects the beautiful native Kari trees. Now, the gum of these trees are basically the blood of the tree is highly prized, and actually apparently fetches a pretty penny. So thank you. Aterocryptids. Yes. And so what I'll do is welcome Johnny. I will and welcome Richard. So some of you here have had your own experiences. So it's really nice to get a chance digitally to jump on at a moment's notice. As I say, I've been really sick, and that encounter that I had back in May 14th of this year, 2021, I got so much stuff that came through, it was overwhelming. In about 2 hours of audio recording, some of it video, though I did respect that I did actually turn the video camera off for some of it. I got well over 200 messages. Some of them talk about Bigfoot. This man, his name is Matthew. I've confirmed his name is indeed Matthew. He tells me that he is an active soldier. Now, when they did come down there to meet up with me, or whatever, they were saying things like, "Peekaboo, Mark." They were saying things like that. I could hear them running around. I could hear the bipedal movement. I actually caught some of this movement on my audio. I heard it. I heard the voices. I couldn't quite tell what was being said. I would say some of these beings are a type of human. Highly elusive, highly intelligent, highly empathic. That basically what they did was, when they went to that location, they performed a military type operation. They basically secured that landmark, as according to what they've told me. They were very well aware of craft planes going over the area. They talked about it. They talked about some sort of truck activity. They mentioned that too. This is something interesting they told me. They said they said, "Mark, you need weapons." And I've been thinking, well, what do I need weapons for? So there's a lot of strangeness. Some of the things, I'm getting some answers to stuff that's happened in the past. And I'm trying very hard to not post judgment on what's coming through. I'm trying very hard, just take it as it is, and maybe see if I can debunk some stuff. Surely I don't want to get the wrong information. I really don't. I really try hard not to. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, she puts a bit of stuff out. I don't keep an eye on a lot of stuff because I'm just so darn busy on my end. I'm so busy with my research that I'm doing that I don't hardly get any time to read books. I hardly get any time to read because what's going on my end is so big. It takes me hours and hours to pour through this footage. I'm listening very carefully to these strange voices. Some of them do not sound human at all. Look, one of them said my first and last name when I was out there. Some of them saying my first name. These aren't hikers. These are not hikers. They do not sound like normal humans. They are not broadcast. And the mic that I was using is shielded against radio frequencies and also electromagnetic energy. So I'm trying to sort of do a little bit of debunking while I'm doing this. I want to make sure that I have accurate information. So yeah, I'm going to try and upload that video with Clint. Let me see if I can just post this this link here. I really appreciate Kim. Kim, I did talk to Kim once. She was nice enough to refer him to me. It was about a 3-hour drive up there from Auckland. So I'm going to post this here in the chat window here for everybody. Let's see. Okay, so there you go. Hopefully that link works. So later on, when you get a chance, you can go and have a listen to Clint's interview. Clint lives in an area with there's these big mountains right behind him. He backs up right against Maori land. He says that a lot of strange stuff happens around his property, affecting his dogs. And he says there's a lot that happens. It's been mentioned to me too, and I think that's definitely a good idea. Could you please, when you put your sound samples up, if you would please put the what you think they're saying. And so the only reason why I haven't really, like last time and that, is because I've just been so busy, and I wanted to get this stuff up as quick as possible because it's just turning from days into weeks. Some of you, a small amount of you are familiar with my personal circumstances and understand that there's a lot going on. And now I'm not sure if sometimes the messages from the stream, the chat messages don't come up in the video. So maybe what I'll do is I'll also post a link to in the comment section below the videos as well for anybody else that joins in after. Now I did say that I'm getting information about what's going on. Now a little while ago, any of you old followers, anyone that's been following me for quite a while, and I'm talking about 3+ years back. One time I was out there. This was in research area number 1, a very hard, dangerous area to get into. This is where I had all of the bipedal approaches, the wood knocks, the strange voices, the stone clacking, the structures, the footprints of varying sizes, and because there's no tracks out there, it's a machete only area. You go into it's an Indiana Jones kind of area to go into. You can get out of, very dangerous. You have to be pretty fit to get in and out of there, and even then, you really need ropes to get in there actually. But this ravine area, anyway, one time I went there, I put up a block of delicious Cadbury's chocolate, sealed in a bag, about 6 feet up off the ground, up on one of these young kauri trees, up on the trunk, about 6 feet off the ground. So there are wild pigs that do come into the area, and there's also obviously possums too. So I sealed the bag so none of the wildlife could smell them. I do have a little bit of a cartoonist background. I drew a little smiley face cartoon on the front of the chocolate for them. I stuck it up where they could see it, about 6 foot. Now I know they're highly aware of, maybe their sense of smell is really good too, but I don't know. They're highly aware of anybody that's in that area. They told me that we took the chocolate. That was one of the messages that I got. We took the chocolate a while ago. I've got a lot of audio samples here, and it is really overwhelming. It's a lot of work to go through this stuff and try to make out what they're saying, and it's just jaw-dropping stuff. That's really what I have to say. Now, I've got responses now. Some of you have seen that video. Let me just pull it up here. That video that I played several times, where it says, accept the Bigfoot people, big people. I believe that there's not only the Bigfoot people, I believe there are elemental beings out there. What some might call the Pataperehe or fairy-like beings. Another type of human that is closely related to us. I'm suspecting that they are interdimensional beings. I'm trying very hard to not put too much locking into stuff too quickly. And that's the real challenge of doing this. So let's see. I'll just play that for anybody that's new jumping in here. Yeah, they are just on the ball. They know about people in the area. They're just on it. This other man, he says he's this man. If you've heard him, Matthew, his voice comes through very strong. I do not hear him live. This is the strange part. He comes through, he blows my audio out. I listen live to the parabolic recording. He does not show up live at all. And I would if I could adjust the levels on the audio, the gain, but I can't even adjust it because I can't hear him. And he shows up so loud. It doesn't matter where I am in this area. He shows up like he's just standing right in front of me. Yeah, humanoid entities, extraterrestrial intelligences. Yeah. Well, I said one of the voices said aliens are on you. Now there are different voices. Some are warning me. So I'm having to basically be like Arthur Conan Doyle. I'm having to try to figure out what's going on in the background. There are voices that are opposing these other beings. If these beings meant me harm, I believe they would have. They could have quite easily in the months, in the years of doing this stuff, out there by myself, vulnerable, mostly by myself. Now let me just play that message again here. This amazing message. Here we go. Let's pull that up here. So can you please tell us your names, please? Something about people. Okay, so there you go. There's that very strange voice. Now, what I did not play in that, I when I got that message, I was doing a paranormal investigation. The light switch turned off when I asked for a response. I got pulled up on my seat. There was like walking as well. I heard a bunch of other things have happened. However, now what came through before that, just before that message, was very erotic messaging that repeated, and someone's saying, "Oh, you just picked up a stray signal from the Playboy channel," or something like that. Well, it actually says my name, and it says my name over again, just like out in this area. A lot of what I am getting out in this area is very sexualized. When I was one of the times I was out there in my old area, I had this energy hit me from nowhere, and I've never ever before in my life. I'm quite empathetic. I can pick up on stuff sometimes. I've never had this kind of energy hit me before, and it was, I don't know if I can say anything without being too, I don't want to be graphic, but it was overwhelming, and I've never in all my life ever had this. One of the beings, and one of the voices that I picked up was like a female, a high-pitched smirk right after this happened. Now, looking at that, and also some of the other stuff that was happening in this other area that I found, where this is where I heard this whoop whoop, you know, these Bigfoot sounds. Some people say, "Oh, there's no Bigfoot in New Zealand." I've heard them. I've gotten plenty of deep voices amongst other stuff. A number of the voices that I picked up, female voices, were saying things that you don't hear New Zealand women say. when I've been here. I mean, I'm a native of New Zealand. You don't hear women saying this. I mean, out in the wilderness. I mean, and along with not only that, but you've got bipedal movement going on around me. Some of those noises were very strange. Some of the voices are downright strange. Some of them are just. It sounds like something from the Sci-Fi Channel. No, really strange. So anyway, so I'm working on actually playing these voices. I may just have to upload a full video because the streaming software that I use does not allow me to upload video files any bigger than 200 megabytes, which is really, you can still compress videos, I know, but you can't get very long videos up. So anything that I put up is actually pretty short. Now, as I'm doing this research, I'm trying to figure out what kinds of beings am I dealing with. Now, we can go into the fairy realm. The fairies of Ireland, Scotland, the British Isles. I lived over in the UK for a couple of years back in the early 1990s. I also have to consider some of the voices that I'm getting saying about fairy. All these elementals. Some mention elves. Now this sounds ludicrous. I know it sounds ludicrous, but I'm just reporting what's going on. Now, as I look into history, I go back hundreds of years into like the 1600s. I can read reports of what they call the fairy realm, and they talk about these beautiful maidens that lived in the wilderness, and this actually kind of reflects some of what the Maori, the natives of New Zealand, talked about. These beautiful maidens that would sometimes take the people that were just angelic. They were just stunningly beautiful. And it was thought that they would sometimes take their people. Now, as I'm looking at this, I'm listening to the stuff that's going on in research. Not only have I got the Bigfoot stuff going on, I'm thinking, well, is the Bigfoot part of the fairy realm? Are they one of these interdimensional beings that seem to be very powerful? They're shy of humans. So I have to consider all things when I'm doing this. I've gotten craft. It's just so bizarre. There's so much happening at the same time that I'm wading through this carefully. I'm looking at old reports. I'm looking at legends, trying to see if what similarities there are. Yes, our Patapera have fairy-like beings. Yes, Atura cryptids. Yes. Infrasound beings app. Yes. Yeah, they can see an energy to you, and you wonder what hit you. But they have these abilities. We don't know about as modern humans. We don't know about these for the most part. We don't know unless we've had it happen ourselves. We're just clueless. Science is really, I have to say, sadly, science is very. I mean, if we're looking from a materialistic Darwinism point of view, is very backwards, because there are other realms where we go into quantum physics. There are other, let's call them dimensions, things that can cross dimensions that can affect us. Those of us that have done paranormal investigations, those of us who have been touched, hit, slapped, many possessions, the voices, the many ways that some of the negative ones can affect us. We know that there's other realms that surround us all the time. Now, what are the conditions that stop these beings from just coming in and getting us? There must be something that makes it not so easy for them to just do things, but some can. Now, so I don't know what laws of nature in their realm that they had to fight to get through to manifest in our realm. Yeah, well, I think I have to agree with you, Aotearoa. I really, yeah. And I know people like John Keel. He figured that too. Does all this phenomena, does it all intermingle into other things? does the alien abduction phenomenon, does that bleed into the poltergeist phenomenon? Now, I've experienced much of this stuff myself personally, so I can sort of lean back on my own experiences, and I can ask those questions and say, well, this felt like that. These beings are very powerful. They can rip down trees. Very powerful. Now, some ghosts are quite powerful too. It's reported, that demons are very rare in hauntings. However, they are very powerful. They can they can throw people. I just before I joined my old paranormal team, I got wind of investigation of a lady they went to try to help, who was reportedly possessed, in quotations. Her eyes went jet black. Whatever this entity was went and bit the one of the paranormal team members, leaving teeth marks. Now, wouldn't it be interesting if you could scan in those teeth marks and look through dental records? Not that, maybe you wouldn't find anything anyway, but if someone recently died, if you could track something down that way, it would be interesting. But so some of these beings are very powerful. I've had some things that are out, as I say, just out like out of a horror movie. I've experienced some terrifying things that some of these beings can do. It would make you very hard to sleep at night. Having said that, there are some beings that are wonderful and on the other end of the spectrum who I believe act as guardians. Some people might say spirit guides. And because of all the stuff I've experienced myself, I've asked myself, am I creating, because I've been in poltergeist situation, am I creating like tulpas? Am I creating that energy, an energy that I'm not aware of? Some of these voices have been created that way. So there's the stuff that I'm wondering, but a lot of the stuff that's coming through is not preconceived stuff. Some of it's go against the grain of the things that I grew up with. So yeah, there's definitely there's darkness with the light. Now they say they've saved me too. They've and some of these this last outing I went on was just with the amount of information I got. Basically, I climbed into this area. There's a couple of you that kind of know what I'm talking about. They leave signposts, markers, geographical markers for you to know about where they're at. I'm trying to get an understanding of what it all means. But what I will do is I will actually place in the near future, and hopefully in the next week or two I'll be able to get it out. But I will play back some of these bipedal footsteps that were running around me. The voices, some of them are just, they don't sound human at all. They were just very different. So really interesting times. I believe what I'm recording, not only these Bigfoot type beings, but I'm recording possibly ET stuff, but because of the craft. I mean, the craft I've seen, the craft I've got on camera. Fortunately, I've been lucky, but it's occasionally to get them on camera. There's those that have passed on. Some of these things go into legends. Goes way back into legend, like it's called the fairy realm, this other realm with these other beings, and it goes right back into old traditions. They go back to the times where they would try people for being witches because they claimed this happened to them. They torture people, horrible things. Yeah. I noticed just the way the breaks, certain like tree breaks. There's ones associated with Bigfoot. You can find those, and then there's the structures. You got the teepees, you got the asterisks, you got the leans, you got the intentional bends. You got the footprints, the intentional breaks. There's something else that was done right where all this stuff was going on. They basically gave me instructions to go back to this area. They are locked into communicating with me, and so I don't know where this is heading now. For some of you, alarm bells will be going ding 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 ding. Are going to be sounding, saying, "Oh, we got to get out of here. This is very dangerous stuff." Yes, this is potentially very dangerous stuff. However, anything that could have harmed me could have quite easily harmed me in the years past. Could there be some sort of deception going on? Yes, there are deceptive beings out there. There are all kinds of, just like there are people. There are people that lie through their teeth while talking to you, with a straight face. So it's just that way too in the ethereal realms. And to what degree are they able to cross through? They talk about gold. They talk about being wealthy through my ITC communications. So, welcome everybody. Life is dangerous. Yes, that's a very good point. We could go out in the car. We could just die, couldn't we? We could get in an accident. We could die just like that. Life is very fragile. So we could, for me, my personal philosophy is I could cower and hide behind a door, or I could go and face this stuff. When I was back in the early, the 80s, when we had this horrible poltergeist phenomenon taking place in the home, terrifying, the voices, trying to open the doors at night, the footsteps, the calling my name, the slamming the windows, which peaked. I basically had to walk down the stairs to face what was doing this. It was a horror movie moment, one of those movies out of a horror movie. My mother was right behind me. As soon as I turned the light on, it stopped. We fled the house for about 3 days. We sought out at the time it was the Auckland Takapuna Parapsychological Clinic. We went there. We were talking to Francie Williams, the lady that ran that. We also went to try to seek out psychic help to deal with what was going on. Excuse me, still very sick, but anyway, a lot happened. So I've learned to grow up here and face what's going on now. Now I do avoid anything that's very dangerous, that I know is very dangerous. I will avoid that. I will not go into any situation that is as I know for a fact is very dangerous. It has a history of harming people. Anything demonic, I do avoid anything like that. It can come back when you're doing this kind of stuff, and I'm not just talking about paranormal investigating. I'm talking about when you're helping people. When you're doing something like clearings, like clearing energy from houses, that is very dangerous. You will see and experience things that you will not experience even as a paranormal investigator. It takes it to another level that is highly dangerous. Yes, I'm hoping to go again very soon. I have been very sick, and I've been hoping it doesn't turn into pneumonia. Yes, I'm planning on going out there very soon. It's pending on my health. I think that may be one of the reasons why they didn't take me. I was hearing all this dialogue between these different beings. Now, what was interesting, I think they have a name for humans. They call us, I think it's Asimo. They kept saying Asimo, 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 Asimo. They have a name, and they've used that before in my other area, and also when I'm doing ITC communications. Yeah, expect the unexpected. Yes. This man Matthew, he says he's a soldier, an active soldier. He is working with these other beings. He's basically like a liaison officer. He's communicating directly with me. He comes through far stronger. His voice comes through far stronger than any of the other beings. Some of these beings do not sound human at all. This stuff is just, and I'm capturing this on audio. It's amazing. You've heard the Sierra sounds, right? I mean, the different language. I'm getting this stuff on a regular basis. It is quite a dangerous area to go into. My first area, wow, I mean, that was just, boy, I'm so glad I didn't break my neck doing that stuff. I really am. But overnight expeditions. I think one of the biggest parts to that Aotearoa is giving respect to them, and because they are highly intelligent, highly empathetic beings, that you, whatever's going on, you can't pull one over on them. So to do that in what I'd call like a very respectful way, there's a spiritual aspect to doing this stuff too. Okay, thanks. Yeah, probably need it. I've been crap. I have been like crap. Anyway, Ricky here has expressed a little bit of what I'm talking about. And so, as you go investigate this stuff, and I'm not talking about, hey, just read a book. I'm talking about actually putting on some hiking boots and going into those wild areas and try to get some intuition on what's going on, because you can pick up on this stuff. I think that everybody has intuition, maybe latent intuition, but we have that ability to be able to tap into the stuff. Though it can be a bit dangerous, because if you tap into something negative, that can follow you home, and you can end up with a horrible haunting situation. Now, I was reading some information on fairies, because I thought, well, there are some parallels to what's going on with the fairy phenomenon. I remember a long time ago, my mother had this beautiful illustrated book. I forget who the author illustrator was, but it was a book on fairies. It was beautiful. And I as a kid, I mean, I don't know what to believe. It sounds cool, and it makes it for a cool story. It makes for a cool movie scenario, but I don't know if that's real or not. Some of the beings, yes, Ricky, yeah. Some have said that we can kill you. I've gotten threatened by a number of beings. I do have, yes, they say they protect me. They've preserved my life, even though I've had personal experiences. Excuse me. So what I'm going to try and do, I've got the interview I'm going to upload with Clint, avid hunter, farmer. I'm going to upload that hopefully next week, and it's probably going to be close to an hour long. So it's just, when you're doing this stuff, it's very time consuming. It's very time consuming uploading videos. So I think you'll like this interview though. Yeah, it could be. I mean, you think about it. You look at like when the old world came to the new world. What happened to the Indians? Hey, a lot. The same thing happened with the Maori people when the Europeans first came. They were dying of the common cold, and so there's definitely a biological risk that's associated with this kind of stuff as well. Now, there have been reports of people getting abducted, that some sort of chemical biological agent is used to basically kill anything that's can do them harm, or vice versa. Hi there, welcome, Pam. Yeah, but now back in my mind, I'm saying, well, a lot of them are talking in English. They are highly aware of us. Now, some of you are saying, well, that's suspicious. If they're really other beings, then why aren't they talking in another language? I do get responses in other languages. I get phrases. I get Old English. I get all kinds of things that come through doing this. World of Worlds. Yes. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, anything that's not If they're advanced, it would have to be very aware, like us, of viral agents and other things. Maybe there's other things. Radiation, cosmic radiation. Other things. So it could be very dangerous. I know I talked about this on Jim Birchall's radio show, Occam's Radio. I'm not sure if he's still doing it anymore, but talking about that, about the dangers of ET contact. If we just took it from face value and communicated just like that, there's certainly dangers associated with in a biological sense. I mean, look what's going on around our world right now. There's certainly been films that have been actually made about this, like the films like the Adrenoma strain, potential very, very harmful bacteria or viral issues. So you're welcome, Pam. So maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to read out some of the stuff here, because it's really, this is just, there's such a huge amount of information coming through. It's really takes a lot to slog through this. Basically says you need a parabolic to something. I think he's saying to hear me or something like that. He's actually he says, we're so sorry, Mark, you've been sold out. I don't know. I wonder if we're like a pet shop of some kind to aliens. Mark, you will terraform. That's what they said. Mark, one of the voices, Mark wants me. They talk about taking me on different craft. There's some things I better be careful about what I say, because if something does happen, am I going to have the SAS busting through my door? The names that they're giving me are consistent with the names they're getting through ITC. This is beyond just happenstance. They said they bought food for me. They said, take you a sandwich, take a gherkin roll for you. Excuse me. They said they mentioned. Oh, Matthew says, I need the latter, please. And then the voice responds something about, does your master speak? And then I forget what is something. So I've actually, a lot of the stuff I haven't talked about is highly erotic. So what I will have to do is actually put a label on this before I play it. And that's another thing that I think gives credence to what's going on, is this stuff is highly sexual dialogue. And it's directed to me, by name, and they give their names to these females. And this particular area, some of you know of it, is very hard to get through. I nearly broke my knee when I was just climbing through the mountain area. I nearly busted my knee. Fortunately, I wore a knee pad. I try to go with safety in mind when I do this. But a lot of this, what's going on, not only makes me think of the Bigfoot stuff. So they did mention the name Bigfoot. Some of these voices are coming through. There, as I said before, there are multiple beings here. Hey, would you like it let's see if I can do this. I'm going to try right now. I don't know if I can do it live, but I'm going to try and upload one of the shots that I put on my group. Let me see if I can upload it live. I don't know if it will let me. Oh, not a video clip. I want a live. I'm going to see if I can upload a live shot. So 1 second here, folks. There's something in this video still. They asked me to turn off the cameras, and they repeated that. So I'm just seeing if I can. See, I don't know if it will let me, because I'm streaming. I don't know if it will let me upload. I've just got a still image I would like to upload if I possibly can. While you're there, maybe it won't let me. Yeah, it's just, I'm trying to drag and drop, and I think it's because I'm streaming the video. Video is highly demanding on the stream, and it just seems to be. Let me just. Something came up on one of these video frames. It looks like a cave entrance that I don't recognize, or something. It come up on one of the shots, and I don't know if there's other things in this. I'm just going to see if it will let me upload. So just hang on there a moment, folks. I'll see if I can upload it live and show you myself. I might just have wait till another time. Here we go. Let's see. Hopefully, I think I've got the right one. Oh, I guess I'm going to find out if I've got the right image or not. There's some kind of, it looks like a cave entrance. So let me see if I can, or something. So let me just bring it up here. I'm going to have to pull myself off the stream to make the video. So just hold on there, folks. Let me just take myself off the stream for a moment and okay, so I finally I managed to get it to come through. I had to completely remove myself. For some reason, it wouldn't let me drop. There's something up at the top of that frame. So if you want to go back, you can go back in the video, the stream video, and have a look. There's something dark. It looks an entrance to something. I don't know if there's a humanoid in that entrance. There was a bunch of stuff going on. I don't know if I lost time while some of the things that I record were a bit. Some of it was a bit on the disturbing side. That goes into what might be considered the abduction phenomena. What gets some of us is a little bit, and I could feel almost like a static, like people being touched, like something almost like static, like a form of being touched. So I'm just going to jump back. So any comments that you have. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what you say. Okay, Ricky, all the best. Thanks for joining in. So yeah, folks, what do you think about what's going on? I think when you hear this other audio, it is just amazing, and I'm really going to do my best to call out on screen what's being said, along with playing. One of the voices, "Get Almay on top of you." I want you to suck. I mean, sorry, some of the stuff that's very graphic. This is why I'm talking about, like the Patapere or the fairy-like phenomenon that has been talked about in legends past, particularly the British Isles and places like Germany. And I may be one of those few people that have actually caught audio evidence of what's going on. So this is just in the middle of the day for a lot of people, so apologies for that, but my time that I have to do this kind of stuff is pretty short. So just if you haven't already, just click the subscribe, that bell there. So hit it again to get all notifications. And also I do put other stuff up on mountainofentities.com. Actually, that was a name that they gave to me, Mountain of Entities. So I called it after what they said, Mountain of Entities. Something about give a crystal to Matthew. They talk about portals, bush portal. Did I get a warning about don't go into the portal or something? I get one. That's another message that I'm getting. Mark takest. They're talking about and using Old English in some of this. Mark takest me to the party. I know that they say they're testing me from the past. They're testing how trustworthy I can be. I know that. They said we'd like to have his brains, or we'll protect you, or something, because they're quite fascinated that I pursued them. Not only that, but in a ESP sense too. I've sort of really tuned into them as well when I'm doing this. And again, these voices are getting in. I'm sure that any reasonable thinking person is going to listen to this and say, this is either Marcus made this up, or this is, either he's imagining this. I mean, you're going to really have to stretch your imagination to say you're imagining it, pareidolia, or it is the real deal. Gosh, I'm going through this, and but what I've experienced in my old area, it does match up to some of the stuff. One of the things that when I realised it was something not a normal biological situation, when I realised I had something walk up to me that I could not see in my old area. Something walked up to me. I couldn't see it. I just heard the footsteps walk straight up to me. I knew there was something else going on, that was something from another dimension. I've had the message, except the Bigfoot people, big people. There's multiple things going on, so I don't know what's going to happen, but it's very interesting. So thank you so much, folks, for following, for dropping in. I know it's the longer I have these, the longer I do these, the more people drop off. Well, obviously because, it's the middle of the day, at least on this part of the world, and it's by, it's just spontaneously that I'm doing this, because one of the voices says, you're in the craft, we search you. One says, take him outside. One says, reach over you. Oh, some of the stuff is really great. Some of this I don't even want to. It's embarrassing for me to even play. One says, remove his. It's just yeah. So other beings just messing with me. Are just having a good laugh. I mean, I can imagine they could have a really big laugh about this. If it's being faked and I'm just being teased, well, heck. But it's actually quite. If they're just orchestrating this, it's quite a lot of work to go to on a long basis to fake just to have a laugh, But do we really know? Do we really know what the minds are of these other beings? Now, some of them seem to be quite loving. Some of them seem to be, but anyway. So thanks so much for joining me here. Maybe what I'll do is, for anybody just joining in, just real quick, I will play the audio from what I call the alien abduction audio. Matthew's on this. They talking about putting me into their ship, inserting me into the ship. They talk about having a hard landing, and they said that we're all right. It's really interesting. So I'm just going to play that. I'm going to finish real soon. Thank you for joining me. Anybody that's just joining, hello, welcome. Go back over some of the stuff that I've talked about. So anyway, I'll just play this audio from last time. When I get the right. Sometimes I make mistakes too. I got to get the video and not the still. Here we go. Need a deeper frame. Picking up from distance or something. Some sort of vehicle up on the stone rural road. Very road, this country. I'll go down there. So there you go. There's a lot that came through there. They talk about something about we don't need humans. They talk about semen. This man Matthew, he talked about my father when he was about to die. Now he's saying, in an act of tears, he's saying he loves you, Matthew. So we might call him maybe a spirit being, but he comes through so clearly. We insert you shortly into our ship. One of the voice, there's a dialogue going on. He says, Matthew. It sounds like, if you can imagine a lion that could talk, it sounds like a lion saying it. I mean, as I say, I think we're getting to some of the Bigfoot type phenomena as well. There's multiple beings that are showing up. They're highly aware of me. The stuff that I'm getting through my ITC is amazing. So have a listen back through that. I know it's a bit hard to hear. You basically have to listen very carefully to the audio. But in future, what I'm going to try to do is actually put up on screen what's being said. I've been doing this for years, so I'm quite used to listening to electronic voice phenomenon. Some of this is I am hearing live as well. It's not just showing up on the audio. A lot of it, I can hear the voices I talk about on the audio. I can hear that there's somebody. I can hear the voices, and so I believe some of these are the Bigfoot people. It was kind of comical. One of the voices asked to go on the ship, and he gets denied. Matthew denies him for whatever reason. This being that wants to go on the ship, to wherever, and maybe back to Theodore, the civilization that's under the ground. This stuff is like, it's like out of a movie, It's just amazing. This audio, as I'm going through this and I'm reading what they're saying, how could this be any hiker? The stuff that they're talking about is not normal. Some of it's illegal. Some of the things they're saying are legal to do here, or legal to do in most countries. Like, rape me, or, stuff like that. And they're talking, saying my name. Nobody knows me here. And this area is a rural area. It's a mountainous area. There's no tracks in this area. I feel that I have to give some background information to what's going on. I found, for any of you investigators out there, I find parabolic dishes, ones that designed for wildlife, are very effective at picking up some of these beings out there. The dish picks up their voices very well. At least I found that. You can use digital recorders, but I'm finding the parabolic is picking, and I've got it. I haven't got it pointed right up in the mountain. I've got it down pointed towards me. I'm only like 50 feet away from me. This is with the dish. So anyway, I'm getting some sound. So anyway, thanks so much for following me. I'm Mark Appel. I'm the Haunted Man.